Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes down at the end. You're going to want to text the word renter to 623-AZ Recon. That's renter to 623-AZ Recon. We help, when it comes down to real estate, just about every type of person, whether somebody they're looking to sell their house, turn their house into an income-producing property, to first-time home buyers, and to investors. And this specific segment is for investors. And it's a program that Ryan and I launched a while back, and just dawned on me that we haven't even talked about it on the podcast. And so many, especially our Luke guys, but so many of our investors are taking advantage of this opportunity. And so the hardest part, I'm not gonna say the hardest part, but one of the hardest parts and one of the most challenging parts for an investor who is now buying a rental property, buying an income producing property, is that first tenant placement, finding that first renter. Where do I get background checks? How do I read a background check and credit reports? And who should I be calling on this? And how do I determine a good tenant versus a bad tenant, and so forth? It's just it's very, very challenging if you don't have experience doing it. And so one of the things that Ryan and I have been doing for our investors when they acquire the investment property from us, we will place their first tenant at our expense. And I remember we have Apollo, and he's under contract for a new build, and we're going back and forth, and we're going through numbers, and we were at the builder site, and I go, oh, by the way, because it just did dawn on me, by the way, I forgot to tell you that this is what Ryan and I are doing. And he goes, okay, done.
Yeah.
Just done.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, are you serious? Yes.
Yes.
So it was, because I'm not into giving out a Cutco knife with my name on it, and
Unless the couple is heading for divorce,
Right,
and
like-
we want one off the other, and that way it makes all future real estate that much easier. I
Never fails.
I
Never
kid.
fails. I kid.
yeah.
We
I'm not talking smack about the other professionals in the industry that do, but I've just, that those kinds of things are just, they're not impactful. And so we've always wanted to do things that are going to either create a memory or create value, or, just have something that's going to be bigger and better than just something that, you can, assault your spouse with. So when we have our homeowners that they're moving in and going to be occupying the property, we always throw them an awesome housewarming party, and
they're the best.
Generally, we're doing taco.
Iris's street tacos.
Iris's street tacos. That's right. But if you're buying it as an investment property, then that's just one of those things of value that we can do, and more importantly, we will walk you through those processes and teach you how to do what we're doing firsthand, so that when the home turns over in a year or two after that tenant gets placed, you can rinse and repeat and replicate those processes and start thinking how we think, because we've had a ton of success with it. It's gonna be an echo in here when it comes to a lot of our principles. It's just there's no emotion behind it, because you're going to get 10,000 different sob stories from different tenants and whatnot. But at the end of the day, more often than not, they put themselves into that situation, and you've just got to be able to walk away from the ones that aren't going to make sense, or the ones that could potentially hurt your property or hurt your investment. So we're pretty darn hands-on about it, and every element of that system that could be automated is automated. And all the rest of it is going to boil down to you being able to make educated and logical decisions, and we walk you through how we're doing that.
And also the other situation I wanted to clarify too, if you have a home and you call us and you've been wanting to put it on the market, and we successfully go through the numbers and help you convert that home into a rental property versus selling, and then we go out and help you find your next primary house, the deal still stands. We're just going to help you. We're going to help you at our expense, and there's costs involved in it, and a lot of time. It's more time than it is costs. But
especially on the first one.
Yeah, especially on the first one. Yeah, so we will honor that. And if you're interested in learning more about that program, where we will place your first tenant for you, all you got to do is text the word. Did I say renter or tenant?
You said renter.
I'm not.
All right, how
I don't
about
pay attention to
renter
anything you
or
say.
tenant?
Either one applies.
Just text it to 623 AZ Recon. Again, text the word renter to 623 AZ Recon. Justin, pretty. I don't even know if we've told you that we're doing this.
You know what? I heard we were talking a couple weeks back, and we were talking about that, and you said that, and I feel like, dang, that's a huge advantage of using you guys for investment properties, because if you're not an investor out there, just like you said, the first time that you're going through this, it can be absolutely mind-boggling, and you know that you have a payment coming up. You want to get somebody in there. You guys have multiple strategies on how to get a renter. I would want to know that from somebody experienced in it. Somebody really experienced in it, somebody that's been doing it, knows the current market on renters. So I feel like that's a huge advantage. Not only that, a typical company is going to charge you anywhere from it's probably average $500 for the first renter,
more
than that.
Significantly more.
Okay, and not only that, you're getting charged that amount, but then you're getting charged the cost for each one of the programs that they're using in order to qualify these renters. And
then we're also sending you the background check, and we're walking it through it with you, going, this is what we're looking at. This is, because we're investors ourselves. We're landlords ourselves. So
how to look at the credit report, how to look at the
firsthand
background check. Yeah, how to manage the money, how to set up your accounts. You guys have even helped people set up LLCs. You've had people get in touch with attorneys and trusts. There's all kinds of advantages to your network and what you guys are laying out for investors. And I'm just saying this just because I do it all the time. That's not the case. Typically, a realtor a real estate agent is going to stay in their lane and say that to you and help you get into the home, and good luck. Or here's some phone numbers. But that's about it. I've firsthand seen you guys set up full systems for people buying multiple doors at a time, and that's a huge advantage. That's a huge advantage, and what a huge value there. Yeah, like you were saying, a nice flashy item, great. You'll have it in your kitchen. Let's be honest. Once it goes dull, you're just going to buy another one. You're not going to even sharpen it.
Right. Not a Cutco, but
I mean, some people you never know. You never know. But this is something that's going to set them up for success for life. Most likely you're going to buy another property after you buy your first one. The first one's always the hardest one.
I think we could all agree at this table that I think very highly of myself.
we know that. Mike. We all know that.
But the thoughts never cross my mind that there's any client that I've ever worked with that wants a Cutco knife with my name on it and my brand on it. Like I guess I don't think
they're not that good of knives.
Yeah. Well, I think the other challenge, Ryan, I mean, we got two scenarios here where we're going to help you place your first tenant. You text the word renter to 623 AZ Recon, and you say, I want to go out and buy an investment property. I want to take advantage of one of these new builds and so forth. And we help you acquire that property through our services. We're going to place that first tenant for you. But then there are those that say, hey, I am ready to move into my next house. But I don't want to sell my house because you guys say don't sell it. I want to turn this into an income-producing property. And so the extra challenge in that situation, Ryan, is then how do you get that house ready to rent? And what are the things that you do and you don't do that savvy investors or inexperienced investors and landlords don't understand?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty big opportunity because you're actually not doing much different than you would if you're getting ready to sell your property. So Apollo 2.0, right? He's getting ready to go out to Mississippi or Arkansas or wherever the hell Alabama, there it is, in a month and a half. And so we had a big, long conversation yesterday. Set him in. We're getting his LLC set up. We're getting his account set up and making sure that he's positioned properly for his taxes because this will be his first one. So pumped for him. And he's like, Ryan, what do I do? And so it's, of course, hey, let's just start thinning out everything. Keep the big furniture in there because what I would love to do is the moment that you move out, cleaners are there for, 6 hours or whatever. And then the new tenants are moving
It's
in.
Apollo. We might need about 10 to 12 hours with the cleaner. He's a single handsome guy.
Oh boy. No black
Great.
lights.
Yeah, no black lights. And then have the tenants move in right on the heels of the cleaners. And so, because he has enough heads up of when he's moving out, it's not a big deal for him to be able to show the property to tenants while he's getting ready to move out. That's not always the scenario. Most of the time, people are emptying their homes out and just making sure that they're shampooing carpets, doing paint, and cleaning the heck out of everything, and making sure the landscape is all shored up and et cetera, right? So that's certainly one of the scenarios, but if you're planning on converting your home into a rental property, let's set it up so that your tenants are moving in right as you're moving out. That way we have the minimum amount of vacancy possible.
All right, well, there you have it. If you are looking at becoming a landlord, whether it's for the first time or again, and you want to take advantage of our opportunity to where we will help place your tenant for you at our expense, all you got to do is text the word renter to 623-AZ-RECON. That's renter or tenant. I think I started off with tenant. But go ahead and text either one of those to 623-AZ-RECON.